Hello and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen and I am here with day 8 of Off the Board with Pineapple Papers, a hop started by Crystal Barrett with Pineapple Papers. And today I am featuring a sketch, a design team sketch for scrapbooking the day away. And it goes live today on the free website scrapbookingwithannmarie.com. And there is a membership site as well. AnnMarie created this layout and the design team creates that so that everybody on the membership and on the free side can see that inspiration. And I decided to join that with my off the board, and I found this pin on my Pinterest colors and I thought these were perfect. I love the peachy, teal, aqua colors. I can tell you right now that there will not be much pink going on, even though there's lots of pink in this paper pad. This is the Maggie Holmes Sunny Days, and I picked the paper pad, I picked the sketch, well, the sketch picked me, and I picked the inspiration before picking my pictures. And the pictures are of me and my best friend, my son and my daughter, and my best friend hates pink. So I do my very best not to have any pink. So where those flowers are, I have some seashells that I am going to fussy cut some, but I've already fussy cutted some before, honestly, because I thought I hit record and didn't. And luckily I realized it before I did anything more than fussy cut this little handful of things, which I would have edited out anyway. So perfect. Obviously I've lost my marbles. I can't keep everything keeps falling. I mean, I will not be holding babies today because I got the dropsies. So I have these cut aparts that came from the paper pad. I've got these cut out shells that I'm going to use instead of the florals. So I've got my papers, I've got my pictures, I've got this awesome sketch by AnnMarie, and this really cool color palette from Pinterest. So let's see how this goes. So the first thing I wanted to do was pull my papers out. And as you can see, I'm struggling to find papers that are not predominantly or at least significantly enough pink. And like I said, I picked my pictures very last. And yeah, I did accomplish a feat that I had to finagle a little. So I am saying that the colors that I use, the seashell colors that I use, are peach, and they are a darker peach and then a light peach. If I had not already explained to you that I'm doing my best not to use pink, you probably would think that I was going to pull these pinky colors out. But actually, I am trimming the blues and teals and aquas and that light color over there. It's more like an off grayish white, not... it doesn't really have any color to it. So I've trimmed all that out, and this right here, this white base or this grayish colored base with all the people on the beach, that is going to be my background paper. And I normally do not use pattern paper as a background paper because it's really hard, especially when it's busy. It's really hard to create with that. But since this sketch was going to pretty much bring everything forward and not try and work with the background paper, and it was really just there for extra embellishment. Sorry, that was my son. It worked really well. So I cut a circle out of that blue paper that had the people swimming, and then I took the strips, I pasted them together with some double-sided tape, and I'm going to use them to frame all of my pictures. Now, I used them to frame this picture and the 4x4 completely. And then I used what's left and some of that blue over there to frame the last picture. I pieced it together, or Frankenstein it, whatever people like to call it. I make my paper work for me, and I stretch it as best I can. Not because I'm low on paper, not that I'll admit I have too much, because I don't. But I'm I'm okay. I mean, I have seen some pictures of some of you all and your scrap rooms, and I don't have nearly the paper that most crafters do. So I am working slowly on increasing my stash and getting some new designers that I have just been introduced to, or new collections that have just come out. So Maggie Holmes is one of those that I've just really been introduced to in the last year. And so I am enjoying this paper pad. That's all I have, though, is the paper pad. But I'm making it work for me, especially in this layout, because that is all I use. I bring in some ink, and I bring in one other item that is not a part of this collection, and I'm pretty happy with that. So what I am going to do is use those two very thin, like 1/8 of an inch or maybe a 1/4 inch strips. And those are going to be the little strips that come down the side on the left side. And I will try my best to put the sketch up in the left corner. Sometimes after doing the voiceover, it gives me some grief. So we'll see if I can get that to happen. But you can also go to www.scrapbookingwithAnnMarie, AnnMarie.com. And it is an amazing group of people and super inviting. And we're having Christmas in July this month. I know I probably should have done a Christmas layout, but I only have so many, and I'm holding them for some of the challenges we're doing. So we have challenges almost every day, Zoomies when you're in the membership group, classes. She teaches us some really cool things. She is just full of lots of awesomeness. And the people in that group are awesome. It's like a family. We just got done having a summer camp, which was really cool. So you all should check it out. Like I said, there is a free site, and so it won't cost you a thing. And so the link will be below to go check that out. So there's the one thing I'm going to bring in that is not this collection, this doily. And because there's that circular picture on here, I don't have another picture that I was going to work with a circle, and I am not using that crazy lime green. Don't you worry, it's just going to be my stencil. So I am putting that up against the word phrase says this is my happy place, and I want to make sure it's going to work. So it's going to be a little tight, so I go ahead and kind of cut a little outside of the circle. Now, I don't cut very good circles. I like to distress them if I do, but I don't distress this because the letters are so close to the edge of the circle. But I am going to add a little distress oxide, so I guess that works. So then I also have this little cut apart from the collection, and that is going to go up here next to the picture, and I'm going to use that as my journaling space, which is exactly where it is on the sketch. Yay, I'm following your guidelines, AnnMarie. No, she didn't have guidelines. She really doesn't. She just thinks it's fantastic and loves everything. So, I decided that I wanted to ink because where the corners of this picture, the larger 4x6, come over onto the main background paper, it is pretty much the same color. So I get my chipped sapphire, and which is one of my newest colors, and I just ink all the way around all 3 pictures, the mats, and the little cut apart that's got the journaling that I'm going to put on there. I'm also going to ink around the circle that says this is my happy place. And I'm going to ink around the doily. So, and I have the blue paint on the ink on my finger to prove it. Because I don't put it down on it. See, this is me just being, lazy or whatever. I don't want to make a mess. So I just hold it. So that little pointer finger is colored chipped sapphire right now. It's fine. Everything's fine. So I am really happy with the way the layout turned out. So I am going to get everything tacked down and tuck that little doily under, and then tuck a little bit of that circle that's got the title in it under there. And then, like I said, instead of using florals like AnnMarie has in her sketch, I'm going to use this seashells. And as you can tell, I only cut out peach, blue, and teal, and then the little gold bits too. And so I did cut some yellow ones. You could see those over there on the right side. I do not bring those in, not just because they're not in the color palette, but because they really don't fit. There's no yellow showing except maybe a hint of a bathing suit here or there. So I just did not bring those in. I didn't really need them. There is a little gap that I have left there, and I've decided I added something else after I'm done. I added something else, and it kind of made it look strange. So I'm gonna add a couple more little cut apart or little fussy cut seashells right there next to the big to the right of the large picture at the very bottom, because there's kind of going to be a weird gap between the large picture and the shells that are in that little space. So I'm going to end up fussy cutting those, but I'm do that later, because after I got done, I remembered I wanted to put this little cut apart that's like an aqua color, and it says you, me, and the sea. And I wanted to add that in there to bring that gold in for another, a little bit as well. And I just liked that pop of that color down there at the bottom. And so I ink around it and put it in. It will be in the pictures on Instagram and Facebook. It will not be in the final pictures of this video because I didn't do it until after I got started with the video. So, or started with the voiceover part. So I'm just tucked all those little shells in there. And I don't know if you've noticed or been paying enough attention, but there's a random shell up at the top and a random one at the bottom, and they kind of flow and everything, and it's fine. But they're really just kind of positioned there to cover up people in pink bathing suits. It's fine. It really is. So right there I have a peach moonlight jelly roll, and I colored in all of the pink lawn chairs or beach chairs. I did. That's the kind of friend I am, you all. And then I'm going to journal, and I just wrote the date, and then I wrote beach fun. They finally took one of the porta potties off our beach. Always an adventure. And that's what that picture of me and my best friend pointing is. There was a porta potty back there, and they were wailing it away. We are wild and crazy, you all. So anyway, like I said, I add one more thing right below the large picture that says you, me, and the sea. And other than that, I'm going to add a couple more fussy cut seashells in between the large picture and where the seashells begin over towards the right. So this pen was from Sarah Renee Clark, and it is 25 color palettes inspired by beautiful landscapes. And there is the up close. I really do love the way this turned out, although that dog looks like it's walking itself. Oh my gosh, there's a woman walking a dog on that paper. And because I covered the lady up that had the pink dress on, now it just looks like the dog has got a leash and it's walking itself. It's fine, guys. So there's that odd gap that I'm going to fill. I hope you'll go below to hop along and follow all the other awesome creatives who are doing off the board with pineapple papers, and I would love it if you would come check out scrapbooking with AnnMarie.com. Have a great day and happy scrapping.